Welcome back, everyone! We are here for Talon Cup Day 1. We're back in action. I know we had a bit of a break in between, but that's what happens when we don't have all the producers. So if you want to be a producer, hit me up, slide into those DMs, get back in there. Anyways, more importantly, I'll be your host, Cloudburst. Going to do some play-by-play action for this match with Skinny Gnomes versus Jeff and the Kaplan's. Joined with me is Nori Mizuki. How are you doing today?
Hey guys, doing well, man. Really keen for these games. It's been a while. Obviously, earlier today I did a bit of ZA casting, but other than before today, it's been quite a while. So it's been really cool to just get back into it, see some of those familiar faces in like very unfamiliar territory in these mix and match teams.
Yeah, I must say I really like the format that we've gone with here, where the teams are, as you said, mixed and matched. It gives us some interesting turns of events, for lack of any form of understandable speech that I'm able to commit to right now. But I think
Yeah,
it
I
makes...
mean, they've tried to keep it all balanced and stuff. So you got some of these like 4.4Ks with like some 1.1Ks and just try and even it out so that you don't have some massively stacked teams. Although if you've got a 4.4 on your team, I don't know.
I don't know, that's some carry potential right there. But overall, from the matches I've seen, they've been rather balanced. Even
Hell
if the
yeah.
scoreboard is like 2-1, seeing as we're playing a best of 3 for today, the scorelines have still been pretty damn even. Like,
Yeah.
I've had 99% to 99%. I mean, we had a King's Row draw earlier that led to a fourth map where we do one round on Nepal. So we've had some interesting things happen. But Nori, take it away. Tell me about Busan, our first map.
Geez, so Busan, obviously a brand new map, and it's not in rotation in the international scene yet, so it's really exciting to get to cast some of it. Here on this point, now this is one of the most difficult points to try and maneuver around, and it's one of those points that's difficult to get a good composition that's really going to work for you because of how it's designed. Usually, when you come from spawn, you go straight forward, you just hit W and you'll get to the point. This one, you've got to go like down the back alley, turn left, take a right, and hopefully you'll kind of wind up there eventually. So mobility is pretty important and being able to use cover because there is a lot of cover on this map.
I must say, all 3 locations on this map have a lot of cover, but coming out of the gates over here, Jeff and the Kaplans in blue. And the other team, which name I've already forgotten, but we see Dobvius jumping directly into that. Kubla picking up a kill, and wow, Vogel is picking up some shots off the Widowmaker here as well. That is a very convincing first fight for Jeff and the Kaplans.
Whoa, that was absolutely dominant. Winston just dived straight in there. His team was behind him. He wasn't even worried about his team. He just dived straight in. And somehow they kept him alive. Widow getting those massive shots off, and they just completely annihilated. So yeah, definitely good first attack. They're just going to need to try and hold on to that. Obviously now we've got a little bit of sneaky coming around the left side, and they're going to want to try and hold on to that as much as possible.
Yeah, looking at this, Cryptic Watt already taking a lot of damage, does get bubbled though as they are moving towards the point. That anti-nade is doing a ton of work, but right now I think the Virgulers could have a bit of trouble actually finding the kills here. Lag Beast is doing a lot of work over here on the Brigitte, knocks Kubla out of his mech, almost off the point as well, but oh my word, a boom from Earthy with the 2k! That's a very good start to the fight here for Jeff and the Kaplans. Now, Skinny Gnomes are going to have to find something to do with this because they're running a little bit scared on points here. I mean, right now, oh my word, booped off again, Earthy. Oh. Okay, Cryptic Watt gets a shatter onto 3, but he's alone. I feel that was a bit of an overextend there, Nori.
Yeah, definitely a wasted ultimate there. The fight was 100% over. And yeah, I mean, he got the whole team in that shatter, but his team was dead. So there was really no point to that at all. Now, we've got the Skinny Gnomes running this goats composition and it's just not working for them. They need to swap it up. And already they do. They're coming through. They're swapping out the Reinhardt for the Winston. So they're realizing that the dive is going to work a little bit better, but not wanting to make too many swaps, which might not have been the best idea.
Oh my word, okay. Sorry to interject there, but just that shot from Liz, just taking out Visions before even getting to the fight. And Visions is one of our very high tier players. We see 2 self-destructs popping off here. Oh my word, Kubla's the one that just outdoes Micrad, gets the 2k over his single kill off of that one. And Jeff and the Captain is still looking extremely dominant as we're moving to 85-90% territory on this point.
And this is absolutely crazy. I will say though, it's great seeing Kubla on that Diva. We're so used to seeing him on that Reinhardt. Oh, what a cute bubble. Man, what a good Winston. What a lad.
What a
Protect Mount by
lovely one.
sleeping.
Cryptic Watt keeping his teammate alive, but is it enough for them in this situation? Because it looks like it might just be as they pull it back from the dredges of defeat.
Yeah, no, we're seeing now there was a swap up from Virgoliz now. She's going to run that Pharah because they're realizing that this Goats thing is quite strong. But again, with the changes to Pharah, she's going to need to get those direct rockets. She's going to need to take out a support. Otherwise, she's just feeding.
Yeah, but Necromonkey starting off with that Dragon Strike. We do see a grab as well. Although Earthy disconnected, I don't know if they're going to be popping off the pause here. But just from what we can see here, that was a pretty strong combo coming in from Skinny Gnomes. With that Graviton Surge, but I just don't think it was enough in that situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Skinny Gnomes, they've just taken the point now. It's only on 37%. Jeff and the Kaplans have still got quite a lot of time to take this point back. They've made that swap off onto the Pharah. No issue with that. Virgo's got tons of time to build up her ultimate again. Unfortunately, obviously, Earthy now having this disconnect is going to come back with 0 ult charge, which can be a bit of an issue, especially as it's one of their support players. And if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the support with a defensive ulti.
Yeah, it was.
So
It was
I mean,
Lucio,
that can be
so-
huge. Well, there you go, and that's
yeah.
exactly what you need. But the Graviton Surge has already been used, so it might not be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I feel like just looking at the ultimates over on the side of Skinny Gnomes right now, the main one they need to watch out for is Cryptic Watt, who has just popped off his Primal Rage now. There's the self-destruct on the point. Kubla with another 2k!
Kubla.
There was no way they could escape that one at all. And, oh my word, just coming back into it. Earthy on the point, they're making sure his team's alive. I like Vision swapping over to the Tracer. Hopefully he can get some work out of this as they're just in this brawl. But Kubla is just picking up so many kills right now on the Diva. Please, Eden, Energy Eden, put him on off tank.
Yeah, let's go. Well, although, what happens to Senti? Oh, then Senti can one-trick Mei. Easy.
Yeah, it's easy. You see, everything works out.
Oh, man. Kubla, as you say, doing so much work on this Diva. Using that defense matrix quite well, trying to protect his backline a little bit. That Moira's being annoying. But ultimately, they've got a huge advantage here.
Ultimately. So here we have Dobvious starting to use the Primal Rage, trying to get Lag Beast off the point, having a bit of trouble, manages to do it in the end though, with Liz raining from above, and Necro is just picking up a ton of kills as well. Right now, I can't see them losing this one, although we are in overtime, so anything could happen here. Self-destruct over on the point from Micrad. He's the one who picked up the 2k on Kubla and Virgoliz. Right now, Dobvious is left on the point here, but once again, Earthy's disconnected.
No, this is the worst possible time for a disconnect, and it's heavily in the favor of Skinny Gnomes at the moment. They have 2 on point. It's just Obvious left on point. He's got a lot of health, but with Sashafel being there, with that being able to heal Micrad and keep him up so that he can plow damage into Obvious, it's a huge advantage for them. If they can just get Obvious down, they can actually win this point, which would be a huge turnaround, because it started out as like a complete stomp onto them, and now they've come through, and all of a sudden out of nowhere they're getting these massive kills. Micrad just getting back into his mech after taking out Kubla and Virgoliz. All that's in their way now is Obvious. If they can get him down before the rest of Jeff and the Kaplans can get onto point, then this is their point to win.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. It's looking a little bit grim for Jeff and the Kaplans in this situation, but it really depends either if Earthy's able to reconnect or if they're going to be bringing in a sub here. We're going to have to see really what they decide on doing, because there is a pool of subs in this tournament that are willing to come in and step in for games. So really it's... let me hide my chat on stream. What am I doing?
Yeah, no, these constant disconnects, it's just one of those things of living in South Africa. It's unfortunate, but it's something we have to deal with. Hopefully they will manage to find a sub.
Yeah.
In the meantime, maybe we could run one of those adverts just to...
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Let's with that, I'm gonna do the 1 minute one.
Nice. And now a word from our sponsors.
And we're right back in the action
Right.
here. Takuma has been subbed in place of Earthy. He's also opting to go for the Lucio right now. But Skinos look like they might already have this unless Dobvius is able to bring something back here. Oh, but he does fall. Here we go, though. Takuma on point. Oh, Liz gets taken out in absolutely no time. But we do see a Dragon movement point they need to touch. Can they touch? Jeff the Kaplan's reducing Necro. Managing to touch the point, gets taken out by Lag Beast's combo. That flail's doing a lot of damage. And looks like it's just going to be ticking away for them. We see Skinny Gnomes take the first round.
Image.
Whew. So
Nice
a bit of a shame with the
round,
DC.
jeez.
So Nori, what do you think of this portion of Busan?
Perhaps on Busan. It's an enclosed area, so it's similar to Control Center on Lijiang, but you've got these awesome moving walls, right? You can use them to create. You can hide behind them. You can dance around them. It creates a really cool. And also the ability to be able to come up from below point or come up from above point or from the side of point, or like, I love Blizzard's newer maps because they're making them so much more diverse and versatile.
Yeah, a lot more dynamic. There's more moving parts to the map, or there's more things that are subject to change. But you can see right away both teams opting for a Reinhardt centered composition here. Kubler already has quite a lot of charge. He's going to be moving in as much as possible. They have to watch out for Visions, who is on the Reaper right now. But Kubler looks completely unfazed, taking out Kuozo as well. And now it's just Mykrad left on his own there.
Virgil is absolutely popping off on this Reaper. I really like that pick. And it seems like this is a Reaper favored map because we saw it earlier on today in some of the other games that we casted. Reaper seems to be a favorite on this particular Busan map. And in this meta with the tank heavy compositions that we've been seeing, it's not too difficult to understand why. I'm loving the compositions that are coming through here. It's not goats, it's not a typical dive, it's something entirely unique, and we haven't been seeing it a lot outside of the South African scene, so it's nice to just see a little bit of a change up.
Yeah, maybe not the most efficient, but I definitely think that there is some inspiration from this Visions. Going very deep into the backline here. He wants to take out Necro, but Kubler doesn't want any of that. Quoza is still moving forward alongside Cryptic. What? But there we go. That's a Graviton Surge. Oh my word. Cryptic just slams down the hammer, knocks down 4 inside the enemy's grab. He still manages to turn things around. Now that is what a Ryan player is meant to be doing. And the point is going to be going to Skinny Gnomes.
And that was so worth that Graviton Surge came in. Cryptic immediately did the hammer down. We had the Brigitte ulti coming through, although now that Beast's high noon. Whereas on the other side, we've got Tac Visor, we've got Death Blossom, we've got Earth Shatter, which they've just used. I mean, there's a massive favor here.
Yeah, that was a very important Earth Shatter. You can see Coalescence coming out as well. Soldier also has them in his sight. Necromonkey using up that tactical visor, doing a lot of work with it too. Picks up Lag Beast. He wants some more. He's not giving up just yet. This soldier trudges on, but he needs to watch out for Visions because he is coming up on that Death Blossom. He can turn this fight around on his own, and there it comes. But he is taken out in no time. Liz with the nano boost. It just, point blank with the Reaper.
And that was so unfortunate. Like, Vision. That ultimate was so again the fight was lost, and maybe he was trying to get 1 or 2 picks and he could try and stall on point or something, but Virgo was having none of it, popped him one in the face, and that was it. GG. And now they've lost their Death Blossom.
And losing Death Blossom is a very, very big ult to lose. That can completely turn the tide of fights, especially if you can combo it nicely. But right now we can hear Deadeye from Lag Beast. Who's he gonna find? He finds 2, Virgilus and Kubler. This is the opening that they need. And now Coalescence, they're running behind the Coalescence, or in front of it for that matter. And they're gonna be able to get this point back. Must say, very contested round so far, Nori.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really neck and neck, and the trades have been coming through really well, and I loved the ult usage for the most part. Obviously, 1 or 2 questionable ultis, but for the most part, they've been really effective. That Deadeye created so much space, took out a support and one of the off tanks, and that created all the space that they needed. They threw out the Coalescence, it kept them alive, and Virgoliz is sneaking onto point.
Visions swapping over to the Soldier, realizing that that could definitely be a hero that he wants to utilize here, but we do see the combo of the Graviton Surge and the Death Blossom for the side of Jeff and the Kaplans, and they're starting to slowly but surely turn things around for them.
Ooh.
They want this point back. Necromonkey using that tactical visor finds Mike Rad's mech. He needs some more though. He's definitely doing very well there as they take the point back.
And now this is where it gets dangerous for Skinny Gnomes, because now it's at that 80% mark. This is their last big fight, and it is a dry push. They're going to need to do a lot. They're about to have that Soldier ulti come online, but Peace is sitting on his ultimate. Dobvius is about to come online with his ultimate. This is going to be difficult for them. They're going to need a lot if they're going to push through and take the point back.
And right away you do hear Dobvius grabbing that Nano Boost Cryptic What wants to contest the charge, but from that he does end up falling down, and right now Jeff and the Captain is looking extremely strong, but Visions wants to do something over here with this tactical visor, but that is exactly what you're talking about with the map on Busan. Just that wall opening up right in front of him and kind of stopping his approach. Not what you want to see.
You hate to see it. But regardless of that, it looks like they will be able to hold on to this point, as it's just Quoza left alive on the point, and it will tick over, and a victory for Jeff and the Kaplans.
Yeah, I like what they've done here, though. They're bringing it together, and Vergulus is doing a ton on that Reaper, and you could see Vision swapping out a lot of characters there. He was on a Reaper for quite a while, but I feel like maybe they needed something in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's that big open space in the sky. But that being said, Lag Beast on that McCree is not something to be trifled with, and I think that's something that they took into consideration. Perhaps what they would have needed is something that does a little bit more stall, maybe a McCree of their own, or a Mei, or a Sombra or Doomfist. I mean, those are the two biggest DPS players that we're seeing internationally at the moment. They are the ones that are making the most impact, that are doing the most for team compositions, and we're not seeing it too much today in the South African scene, and that's what I want to see a little bit more of. That's what these teams need. They need to be following what the international scene are doing, because they're doing it for a reason. So, you know, long live Sombra and Doomfist. And as I say it, Vision's on the Sombra.
Yeah, Visions is going to get a bit cheeky here. He's looking for something in the tank line, but he's kind of just pushed out of it there. He didn't have the right entry into it. And having Peace in the backline here is definitely giving everyone trouble, with the Honor almost landing a very important sleep over on Mike-Rad, but he gets completely taken away there. We do see a Biotic Grenade landed on Cryptic What, makes it very difficult for him to approach, as he does have a lot of charge. He ends up going down. Peace is doing a lot on the Honor right now.
Dobvius actually had the best charge ever. He charged onto Mike-Rad. Mike-Rad went off the point, and Dobvius didn't. He like just stopped short of falling off the edge of the map, and that was huge because he came back and he got those 2 final kills, and he managed to help secure the point, because once the enemy Reinhardt is out of the way, there's hardly any shielding left for the enemy team, and so it's so much easier to do all that burst damage. So as soon as he took Mike-Rad out of the picture, even though he was on the other side of the map, he managed to get back in time to protect his own team, and yeah, won them the point.
I think it's very important to note Visions is very, very close to his EMP over here. If he's able to land it, they could do quite a lot, but Dobvius slams down his hammer and just starts the fight before Visions is able to do so, getting the nano boost here as well. The only threat he has right now is Quoza, who sadly is not able to do much at all in that situation.
Yeah, that Brigitte ulti, I can kind of understand why it was popped, but at the same time, they were 2 down. It was a 4v6, and at that point, it's definitely, the fight is not in your favor. And now this is where it gets dangerous. So they've got the EMP, which can be absolutely huge. If they can get a lot of damage in on that, then it'll work out really well for them. But we've got Nano Visor, or rather, we've got Tac Visor, we've got Self-Destruct on the enemy team, and if they can get that off before the EMP manages to go off, then, I mean, it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, I'm worried about this one, but here we go. Visions pops the EMP. They're trying to get something out of this, but Dobvius gets a charge onto Lag Beast. They're losing a lot of damage with that one, and Necromonkey has the Tac Visor. Just a bit scared of Kurosa right now, but just shooting besides him instead, and still picks him up anyways. Oh, wow. Jeff and the Kaplan's really playing this to their outs.
So good there. I mean, half the team managed to not even be in that EMP at all. And so when the EMP went off, it actually meant nothing. And now we see Vision swapping out onto the Reaper. The Sombra is not working for him. He wants to do some damage into that heavy tank line, into the triple tank that we're seeing here. And that's exactly what they're going to need. But I don't think that it's enough time. They're pushing into overtime.
Mike-Rad landing the Shadow onto 2, but not enough of a follow-up at all. He's just far too late. Jeff and the Captains are going to be taking Busan.
Jeez, what a dominant display from Jeff and the Kaplans. They didn't lose that point on second map even once, not for just a moment. They had complete control. They were not allowing Skinny Gnomes to do anything. They were making Skinny Gnomes play their game and just completely denied them time and time again.
I think Necromonkey over here definitely deserving play of the game here. Look how his target choices here whilst Kuoza is trying to use the shield really well there. Very well played. I like it.
Nice. That was a brilliant soldier play, and of course completely uncontested. He's in the back line, he's behind his whole team, and that's the thing. A lot of soldiers make that mistake. They just jump into the middle of the fray and they hit Q and die. So, well played by him by staying behind his team and allowing his team to create the chaos that he just capitalized on with his ultimate. They weren't relying on him to, you know, do tons of damage and get all the picks and carry us to victory. It was just like, we're going to do a bunch of damage. If you could just do the cleanup, that'd be great. And it worked.
It definitely did work, but what I like from that is Soldier, I feel, as much of he is a very strong character at the moment, he's got a lot of utility. He has pretty much everything in small bits. But positioning on Soldier is such an important factor when it comes to playing him, especially in a team environment. So having someone who's able to do that, you could see the positioning that was taken by Necromonkey and Peace in that situation. They were off, I guess, I would say they were on the red side right flank, which Skinny Gnomes weren't ready for at all. They just weren't prepared for that.
Yeah, and I mean, Peace, as you alluded to earlier, he did so much work on that Ana. His nades were so good. He was keeping his team alive, and that's really what you need to be seeing in your Ana. Staying in the back line, making sure to not be in the middle of everything, once again, not being in the fray. Really keeping his team stable, keeping them up, and his anti-nades were pretty good as well. I mean, we saw even in the very first push, Brigida, Quazon the Brigida, ran straight into the enemy team, got anti-naded, got taken out, and that is how Skinny Gnomes lost that first point. With their Brigida out of the way, it was just impossible for them to take the first point. You know, that first fight is obviously the most important one. Once they had lost that one, it was way too difficult for them to get back onto point. And in fact, it was in this particular situation where they might have actually benefited from something in the sky, a Pharah or possibly a Junkrat for some added spam damage, but you can like hide behind walls, something to just add that extra little bit of power to their attacks. That's definitely something that they're lacking at the moment.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who on their team would actually take that role, because maybe they're just opting not to play that because maybe their players are a bit more proficient on the heroes that we've seen them on so far, as we have explained before already, that these teams aren't pre-made teams. This is put together in the Talon Cup. You queue as 1 to 3 players, and then we disseminate players into teams from that so that the community can play together. I think that could be a part of this, and I think that's also why you don't see as much Sombra and Doomfist, because where they really excel is when you have that team communication and team synergy, so you're able to make the big plays off of an EMP, you're able to target focus your targets on the correct characters as Doomfist, because you know that the team will take care of the rest and things like that, or they'll provide you peel whilst you're in the fight. So that could be factors going into this.
Yeah, absolutely. And now here we are on Garden, and this has been a big Widow map. Of course, no Widow map, or no Widows coming through. And again, that comes back to possibly the way that the teams are structured. We do have that Pharah, the pharmacy, which is very popular on this map as well. So I'm excited to see that. And they're going to be running straight into Skinny Gnomes' goats. So I'm glad to see that they've got that Pharah. But once again, Pharah needs to make sure that she's not simply feeding the support ultimates. If she's doing lots of damage, but not focusing her rockets properly, all she does is give the supports tons and tons of ult charge. So really going to need a lot of focus in on that. And of course, Necromonkey on that soldier, he's going to want to try and find those openings, because if he cannot get the openings he needs, there's a lot of shield in this composition. He can do shield damage, but really he needs to be getting to that soft, meaty side.
What I'd like to see from Liz right now is actually a bit of a flank, but of course Dakuma needs to stay with the rest of their team. Moving on to the point now, no one has fallen just yet. Very conservative from both sides, but Kubler gets demeched from Lag Beast over on the Brigida. It's just a bit of a struggle. He's playing a very strong Gatekeeper right now. And Visions, what? How much charge is this man on? Full charge! This is why he's shining like this and dealing so much damage.
Hell yeah. And as you said, very, very passive play coming through from Jeff and the Kaplans at the moment. They moved towards point and they kind of like stalled. It was like there was a failure to launch. They tried to move on to point, but already Skinny Gnomes were on that point. They were not allowing any space, and so they quickly took control of that point. Now it's up to them to try and get back onto point. But I'm loving seeing this May coming out. We've had quite a few interesting swap-ups here. We've had Peace move from the Ana onto the Zarya. We've got Necromonkey from Soldier onto Ana. And now Kubla swapping off of the tank onto that May. And that May is going to be huge in countering the goats.
Yeah, so I think that this is 100% just to counter the team composition, as you do see them moving in. Dovius and Kubla are trying to do as much as possible, but the Graviton Surge comes out. We do see a charge from Cryptic as well, which somehow did not work there. Coalescence coming out from Sasha Felix, who's really trying to get as much as possible, but there Justice Rain from Virgil picking up Cryptic, but it's not quite enough, as there is a turnaround from the rest of the teams who really don't want to see that anywhere nearby. And Primal Rage, a bit prematurely over here from Dovius. That fight seemed to almost already be over, but maybe that's what's turning it around now. You do see Virgil is playing very deep into the fight right now, on the point, hoping to get some more, but not a chance. Sasha Felix slamming the door on Virgil's entrance, and Cryptic Watch landing the shadow, and that's going to be them just backing off.
Landed the shadow but missed the charge, and he's just jumped off the map. Nice. And what's interesting with this Pharah play, and I'm not happy with the ultimates that I've been seeing. Okay, clearly it was I'm gonna ult so that I can swap off. Virgil is now swapping onto the Diva, but overall I haven't been happy with the Pharah ultimates. They've been too close to the ground, or they've been after fights have already been lost, and that's just like a general issue that I've been having with some of these ults. But some of them have been absolutely amazing. Case in point, that what's it, beat drop.
Ooh. Oh, that's a pretty big bomb. Mykrad getting 2 from that. Peace is nano boosted. He's hoping to get something out of this on the point. His charge is completely nullified by Lag Beast's shield bash. And they're just having a lot of trouble getting onto the point because this is overtime. And it looks like Gardens is going to go onto the side of Skinny Gnomes.
Tell you what, Lag Beast on that Brigida. I mean, Lag Beast on McCree, Lag Beast on Brigida. There comes a time where you need to realize we should be countering Lag Beast. Like, he is the problem. It's not the composition. It's this one guy who's just like ruining our lives.
Yeah, they're having a lot of trouble with Lag Beast at the moment, but going over to Control Tower, Control Center, Control Tower, I'm never sure. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing.
Probably, to be fair. And this is a very, very popular map for Goats comp. So we've been seeing it a lot in the last couple of maps that we've spectated. But again, this map in particular is so fantastic for that Goats comp because, like, the skybox is quite low, so you don't really want to run a Pharah. And it's just because it's so enclosed and confined, it just allows Goats comp to blossom even better than how it already is. But we are seeing that Doomfist coming through from Peace, and I am so excited for that because this is going to be massive if he can get the value out of it.
Yeah, if he can get the value, it's going to be very important, but he's having a bit of trouble already. He needs to find the right targets, but the bubbles, oh my word, Lag Beast is the one to just shut the door on him, not allow him any entrance. He does get Mykrad out of the mech, but I don't think that's going to be enough for this situation, as he is dashing across the battlefield, but it's not quite enough in this situation. Necromonkey running scared from Lag Beast, who's just dealing a lot of damage to him in this corner. Oh my word, Lag Beast, what are you... You're giving them so much trouble, this isn't fair.
And it's crazy because they had the advantage. They got that initial pick-off, and it seemed like they could win this fight. But here's the thing, right? So they're running like a Goats adjacent composition, and for that kind of thing, you need to try and stay together. And they allowed themselves to become completely split up from the rest of their team. Whereas Skinny Gnome are working together as a unit. Okay, Lag Beast is a different story. He runs off and kills people on his own. But for the most part...
What? What was that from Lag Beast? Just finding that stun?
That shatter!
Oh, I missed the shadow, but we can see the fight that's coming out afterwards because you can see Skinny Gnomes just running Jeff and the Kaplan's home after. Is that a team kill? Yes, it is.
It was just in this little area behind the point, and the whole of Jeff and the Kaplans were on the stairs, and Cryptic Watch just shattered every single one of them, charged straight into them, and the rest of his team followed up and completely annihilated them. And that's what makes it so difficult. You want to be grouped up because that's how Goats comp works, but you don't want to be too grouped up because then you get these like fat 6-man shatters. So you gotta find that balance, man.
Yeah, right away Lag Beast charging directly into there, but not landing a stun because there is a bubble. Virgil is throwing out self-destruct very far back, not quite getting any kills, but interesting trampoline mechanics happening over there. Getting the D-Mech on Mike Rad, Peace finding Cryptic Watt, which is very good. Kubler has a lot of charge, and the grab is ready to go if they call it, but I don't think they need to in the situation right now, as we do see Sasha Felix having to back off here. Oh, but there is a grab coming in from Visions. He's alone on point now, though. He just wants to find Takuma. Can he do it? And yes, he does, just before he goes down himself.
I mean, Mike Rad not willing to give up this point,
Yeah,
man.
not
Him and
at all.
Cryptic are like, they in it.
Yeah, they really are in it. They don't want to let this go whatsoever, although they are up by 1 point. Whoa, that grab is just locking them down.
And the thing is, that was actually quite smart, because while they were trying to contest the point as much as possible, they weren't ults. All they were doing was stalling for percentage, because now they win one fight, they win the game.
Yeah, you
Actually,
can
900 IQ.
IQ is over 9,000! Oh, sound barrier coming out from Kurza. He wants to start making some action happen here, but EMP comes in from Peace, gets 5 of their plays, but the Earthshot from Dobvious tries to get Sasha Felix, but Sasha Felix isn't going down, and there we go, Micro takes out Dobvious. There's another self-destruct coming out from Virgulis. Who's it going to find? Kurza does go down. There's 3 on the point right now, and there is a rally coming in from Lag Beast. Body grenade, I don't think so. I have armor. Virgulis looking at damage. Kubla still doing quite a bit of damage himself, as we do see Coalescence being popped by Takuma. Cryptic Watt is trying to chase down Peace, but he's leaving his team behind as Lag Beast is going to be falling in the situation. Earthshatter does come out from Cryptic Watt from behind, picks up Takuma, but he has lost 2 of his players from that. Sasha Felix comes with the Coalescence, is still ticking up for Jeff and the Captains right now, as there's only 2 players left. Make that 3, make that 2. Oh my word, what a fight.
It was absolutely insane, and again, it was one of those times where literally everybody just hit Q, and now that 900 IQ play from Skinny Gnomes is starting to look less like a 900 IQ, because the hack came off from Peace, and if you look at Peace's ult charge, he's going to have another hack for their next engage. So they're going to come in with a semi-dry push. All they have to work on at the moment is Graviton Surge. If they can get a good grab, then, I mean, that'll be great, and they can take the point, but if that grab whips, once Peace gets that EMP off, that's GG for them. They don't want to be too close together. They need to realize.
Can Peace do it in time? He does manage to go. There's 2 grabs in the middle of the point. This is just going to be a smorgasbord of things swinging at each other. But Dobbies gets 2 with the Earthshatter, but there's another one in the air in the self-destruct, picking up Lag Beast. Jeff and the Captains turning this around with only Visions left on the point. Mike Red falling, and here we have it. They are bringing this one back.
Can we talk about that Sombra?
Yeah, Peace doing a lot of work there.
And this is it. This is why Sombra is so good for absolutely dismantling ghosts. If you can get a good hack on either the Brigitte or the Reinhardt, you basically completely dismantle their entire push. And then once, I mean, if you've got EMP for literally every fight, because he had it, they took the point, and then Skinny Gnomes came in, he had EMP. And they completely cleared the point, and then Skinny Gnomes came back in, and he had EMP. So if you can have EMP consistently every single fight, I mean, goats cannot stand up to that. There's absolutely no way that you can deal with that. So at this point, Skinny Gnomes are either going to need to have to swap up their composition, or I don't know. Hopefully, they just maybe they're hoping to just through sheer force of will and the power of friendship.
Well, I mean, we don't actually know if all their teammates are friends here. Liz starting off with some very good defense matrix here, to multiple projectiles being thrown at the team. Moving on to the point now, still in the process of unlocking, but you can see Skinny Gnomes are very early adopters to being on the point. Obvious not landing any charges. They want to collapse on him, but Quirz is the first one to go down. Oh, the May pick from Visions is going to be very powerful here, as Cryptic gets a pull onto Dobvious. That's a good pin.
Oh,
And now, Kubler once
so
again
much damage.
hoping to get some more charge in this situation, but this time actually struggling a bit to get all the charge he needs, but that doesn't stop him from just completely
huge.
dominating the fights alongside Virgulis.
Oh, good boop from Quoza. Now, something that we really should be paying a lot of attention to. So the point of a diva, right, is to try and negate as much as possible, to try and eat as much as possible. And somewhere that Micrad is not doing as well as Virgil is eating stuff that flies in. I mean, Virgil, as we saw, she ate a Fire Strike, and immediately thereafter she ate one of Moira's Biotic Orbs. Micrad is not dealing with those ananades. He needs to be eating them. because if he's not, his entire team goes purple, and then they die.
Oh, Cryptic Bot landing the Earth Shredder. Peace gets an EMP, lands onto 5 players, but I don't think that EMP is going to work in this situation. To self-destruct from Vergulers, no one's going to be found, but right now, it's looking pretty good for Jeff and the Captains to actually bring this point back if they're able to get onto it, but no! Oh, wait a second! Obvious! With a huge 3-man shatter, and now here we go, back on the point. Micrad, the last one here, does manage to get a double kill anyways, but Jeff and the Captains definitely keeping Skinny Gnomes at bay.
I mean, yeah, we're seeing a complete reversal of what we saw on Lijiang. You know, where we had the entirety of Skinny Gnomes holding that point forever and ever, amen, and now we're just the exact same thing from Jeff and the Kaplan's, except now on this map. Good wall there to try and block off some of that damage, and these fights are going so well. I mean, that shatter that came through, it seemed like the fight was lost for Jeff and the Kaplan's, but his team arrived just in time to capitalize on his shatter, and that's how they managed to hold on to it. But
I like this. We see a Blizzard come out very early in the fight from Visions, but the Coalescence from Dakuma is trying to keep the rest of the team alive as we only see Kubla go down. Never mind, Dobvius falls down shortly after as we do see Skinny Gnomes move back onto the point, their rightful place to be. Blizz is trying to enter back into this, but Visions is not going to allow that. Just stay on point, hold up. But still, Virgil is in the way, could not get the kill onto Takuma. Cryptic Watt trying to do as much damage as possible as Kubla Dobvius move closer. Peace once again in it with a huge EMP. Hopefully that can be what they enter in with, but Lag Beast is pretty much uncontested with his tactical visor. Oh my word, Liz is also almost taking up and lands the self-destruct anyways, just trading mechs here. Back and forth between the two teams. Sasha Felix is going to be using the Coalescence there, gets Peace, but I don't know if they're going to have enough here with 2 supports and a Baby Diva on the point versus Virgil as Dakuma pops the Coalescence here, and that could be what turns this fight around. That's just too much for them to deal with. Necromonkey's so low, but the Coalescence just completely saves all of that, and we do see the Sound Barrier come out. Dobvius also landing that Earth Shatter, and they're going to be trying to bring the point back, knocking Cryptic Watt out of the point. Kurosa trying to get back onto it, and you can see they're just struggling so much to get onto this point.
But actually, there was some brilliant play coming through there from Jeff and the Kaplan's, because they were winning the team fight before the point flipped over the first time. They were winning that team fight, and then the whole of Skinny Gnomes went onto point, and instead of trickling onto point and trying to take out the last few, they waited for the rest of the team to come back. They pushed in as a full stack, and they just took the point back. They weren't even concerned, and now we move into overtime. Take it away, Cloud.
Well, here we go. Necromonkey is ready with the nano booster. Is going to be put onto Dakuma. I think he was aiming for Dobvius, but not quite able to land it. And Cryptic Watt's grab's not going to do very much in this situation because everything has already fallen into place for Jeff and the Kaplan's.
Oh my word! What a crazy map! This whole map has just been absolutely nutty.
Yeah, nutty indeed. But right now, I actually think this is Jeff and the Kaplan's taking it 2-0, or were the teams swapped around?
It looks like that's it. Dagbeast is thanks. I think so. Yeah, well played to Jeff and the Kaplan's. And the thing is, it was so difficult for us to keep track of who was winning because it was it wasn't a one-sided game. It was blow for blow, trade for trade, point for point. It was so evenly matched, and you have to try and remember which team
won it. Yeah, it's that can always be a tough one. But what I saw there from both sides that was very impressive was just the fact that as soon as they got knocked down, they weren't just throwing themselves back on the point. They came to the point just about every single time with a game plan. They knew what they were trying to execute. And I just think that in this situation, Jeff and the Kaplan's did it better than Skinny Gnomes, but it was still a very, very close contested factor there going into that map.
I mean, you absolutely cannot say that one team did phenomenally better than the other. I mean, obviously, both sides had moments where they popped off and moments where they potatoed. But that is like the nature of Overwatch. The fact that there was 2 very closely contested maps. Once again, the score does not reflect the game. Yes, it's a 2-0 for Jeff and the Kaplan's. But, just such close games. Phenomenal Overwatch.
Yeah, I think that was really fantastic. I think that was a very good showing of what we do here in South Africa for Overwatch. And talking about Overwatch in South Africa and esports in South Africa, Attack Shack!
Hey.
They're lovely sponsors. I'm going to put a quick reel going on here for them. I must say just thanks again for assisting with getting this tournament up and running, because it's been a blast so far. Although, for all of you here, I'm going to be running that reel shortly, but don't go anywhere, because we're either going to be back at 7:30 or 8. We're just discussing internally about exactly which match we're going to be casting, but don't you go anywhere. Nori, I'm not too sure if you're going to join me for that one or if you're going to head out, but that's up to you.
Yeah, we will. I'll be around, so if you need me, just give me a ping.
Awesome stuff. Well, let's see how things go. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm actually watching the chat. If any of you go anywhere, I will hunt you down. Don't even doubt it for a second.
Short people are scary, guys.
Yeah, I know. You would know.
Hell yeah.
can feel you flowing through my veins, taking every part, there's no escape. Cause I can't deny all of these feelings buried deep inside. I'm out of reasons and I don't know why I ever even tried to put up a fight. we dreaming? Are 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 we dreaming? We dreaming. We dreaming. We dreaming. Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming?
Welcome back everyone to the Talon Cup. This is day one and probably the last match of the night that you'll be seeing as the rest of the teams move over to day two. We have multiple knockouts and now the next match is going to be Moonlit Knight versus 6-Stack Meme Stack. Those are exciting names. I'm going to be doing play-by-play and joined with me is Nara Mizuki. How are you doing? Tell me how things are going.
How's it, guys? Good to be here for our last match today. This is my fourth cast of the day, which is fantastic. I don't normally get to cast this much Overwatch, so it's been a really good day. Like when Overwatch is your thing and you get to do it for hours and hours and hours, I mean, you can just chalk that up to a good day. So let's take a moment to have a look at these teams. So as Cloudburst said, it's 6-Stack Meme Stack versus Moonlit Knight, and we have some hard-hitting names in the SA community on both of these teams. On 6-Stack Meme Stack, we've got Squishy from Unidentified, currently a top 3 team. Mpundu from DDC, also rather high-ranking team. Seraphim from 8-Bit Oddity, also Premier Division team. Some big names there. On the side of Moonlit Knight, sorry, I was looking at the wrong page. We got Leica Luke, Energy Esports Eden, top SA team at the moment. Obsidian Fury, EZZ, Dragon Lady, Donny May on our WRG. So WRG is one of the clans in South Africa. Their team is currently ranked second, but Donny is part of WRG Amaryllis, which is their all-female team. So we're going to get some girl power up in here. And then, of course, we've got Lazarus from, I nearly said Damage Control, from Goliath Gaming.
Yeah. Close enough.
And that's crazy because I spent so long going, Goliath Gaming before they were Goliath Gaming. And now it's like, who are Damage Control now?
Yeah,
so really
I
cool. We're going to have some, like,
wrong.
action. Yeah, no, it happens far too often when people start like rebranding and it just gets hella confusing. But it looks like the teams are ready to go, and of course we're going to be to Busan, which is I have discovered the forced map of the tournament. Of course, it's Busan, brand new map.
Yeah, we tend to do that around here. We see that often in the VS Gaming League. So seeing this happen as well in Talon Cup, not necessarily to be expected, but I like the approach to that. It gives everyone a bit of a taste of the new map before we really enter into it in the competitive queues.
Hell yeah, makes a lot of sense. For our 1 or 2 international viewers that I know are watching, I see you, fam. VS Gaming is our local gaming league, and it works very differently to the international league in that we have one forced map and then we do map bans. So it's not a case of having, well, we're going to do assault, escort, hybrid, control, or whatever. And then you get to pick from like 2 maps. You can literally pick from the entire pool of maps when you do your bans, but there is always going to be one forced map, and it is always the map that everyone hates. Some highlights from this year have been like Oasis, Rialto. Eichenwald was a forced map at one point as well, which was pretty cool because that's not a map that everyone hates. But generally speaking, it's going to be one of those least picked maps.
Yeah, but I mean, I could also say the same for Rialto. It was one of those highly contested maps. There's no one really liking it, but now more recent times Rialto is actually quite a liked map going into it for a lot of teams, I find.
Yeah, now that teams are more used to it, now that they've kind of honed their strategies, and of course meta has changed quite a lot, it's made it a lot easier to play on that map. But in the beginning, I mean, it was just absolute hell trying to find your footing, and obviously not knowing the map very well and having all of those like ridiculous avenues to play. But we are on Busan, and once again we are on this crazy map with like, it's one of those maps where you can come from absolutely any direction. You can come from below, you can come from above, you can come from sides, and there's a lot of opportunity for you to like do some crazy things. So let's have a look at these compositions. Over on Moonlit Knight, Leica Luke on that Widow, that is going to be dangerous. Obsidian Fury coming through on a Reinhardt, paired up with 2 other tanks, Lazarus on the Diva, Lazarus on the Zarya, Donime on the Diva. So we've got a trip tank there. And on the other side, we've got standard 2 tanks. It looks like they're running dive heroes with brawl tanks. Now that could be very interesting because normally you see that with your dive tank. So it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. And oh, early pick. Let's go.
That's a very interesting early pick from Leica Luke. Oh, but Squishy takes him down with a very well-placed shuriken. You can see EZZ also looking quite low there as Lazarus does fall to Officer Doofy. And it looks like right now we do see teams actually contesting quite well. 6-Stack Meme Stack kind of living up to their name here with their composition, but making it work.
Hell yeah, absolutely dominant display there. And I think that has a lot to do with their fantastic flankers running into the back line, causing havoc so that their Brawly tanks can just like lift their hammers and their particle guns and just plow damage into them, while most of the team are trying to deal with the flies in the back line. So actually a really good strategy, and it seems to have worked for them, but will it continue to work going through, as now we have Moonlit Knight moving back onto the... Looks like they're going for a full frontal 6-stack attack.
Yeah, you can see Squishy and I Love Mango is just in the backline here. Squishy, of course, popping the Dragon Blade and doing a lot of work with it. Picking up not one, not two, but 3 targets. Like Luke is going to have to run away a little bit scared. Hoping to probably get a knock on Squishy, but not quite finding it there.
Yeah, unfortunately, they started that engagement with Donny May already having been demeched, and that just made it so easy for Squishy, who was already in the back line, to pull out that blade and just cause absolute havoc. It doesn't help, of course, that they were running 2 off tanks, now they're running, 2 off supports, and now they're running pretty standard GOAT supports, which might give them a little bit more support that they need.
Might give them a bit more of the edge that they need right now. Good deflect from Squishy over onto EZZ, which is quite important for them to take this. And right now, 6-stack meme stack looking pretty dominant against Moonlit.
Absolutely dominant. Okay, Donny's going in there. A little bit late for Donny to be diving in there, which is unfortunate. But yeah, and now they're going to have to wait for play from her, because obviously now they have to wait for her to respawn. It's going to completely halt their push, and this is their last fight. It is their last opportunity to do anything. They're going in with only 1 ultimate, whereas 6-stack meme stack have got 3 ults online. They've got 1 more about to come online in Squishy, and we already know that Squishy can tear apart a team. So this is a very dangerous.
So we're going to see from Vertigo probably using that sound barrier soon, but got nano boosted in the fight right now from Impundu, which could possibly spell some doom as we see Officer Doopy throw out that Graviton Surge, but EZZ's there with the Transcenders to nullify as much as possible, as we do see Moonlit taking things back. Moonlit Knight doing some pretty good work here, Nori.
Yeah, they were at a massive back foot, and it didn't matter because they got those beautiful picks like a Luke, doing a lot of work there on that Brigitte, managing to take out 2 people, and those early picks made all the difference in the world. Yes, they used every ultimate that they had available to them, and now all that they're going to have is the rally, but they used it to maximum effect. Now they're going to use that rally, build up some armor, and hopefully maintain their hold on this point. But I Love Mangoes is causing havoc in their backline, and they're going to need to try and deal with that as well.
Yeah, you can see all dashing back. Squishy with the Dragon Blade trying to find something. Gets Obsidian Fury looking for some more. Not able to pick up Lazarus, but does find Dragon Lady. And you can see the knockdown onto Doname, just definitely securing that D-Mech. And there we go, Leica Luke dropping down. Only Doname and Lazarus left on the point. Lazarus trying to find some action with the Tracy here. Seraphim's running scared, and he does get taken down. I Love Mangoes also taking out EZZ. Could possibly bring something back here, but has to deal with Obsidian Fury. And we know that Mangoes and a Monkey's going to come out on top.
They're actually holding this point. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it looks like they might actually make it back on point in time to try and get as much percentage as possible. If they lose point now, it is for them. They are putting all their bodies on the line. Obsidian Fury just losing his mind with that Primal Rage.
Yeah, Obsidian's Primal Rage was very strong there, and you can just see the reset from Seraphim, knowing that it's over in that situation. But right now, 6-stack meme stack are still ahead in percentage. As soon as they can flick the point back, they only need it for a little bit. They will put it into overtime.
Graviton Surge, which is going to be huge in no time. Who knows about him? If they can get a Nano Blade into a Grav, that's it. It's going to be all over. They're relying on him to get that ultimate so that they can flip this point around. And it's definitely possible. There it is.
Self-destruct coming out. Finds Impundu. Squishy was almost taken up by it, but not quite. And there's the Dragon Blade to kind of clean things up a bit. Lazarus lost one on the point here, but now the point is going to flick back. Nope, Obsidian Fury does not want to flick back anytime soon. Seraphim luckily protected from the Pulse Bomb. Opposite Doofy doing very well with those bubbles, but right now not working out for them in the end.
Damn, good attack there. Oh, Lazarus.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
No,
Uh,
Cloud.
He really did try to. I think we have to give it to him there.
Yeah, he did his best, man. A bit squishy on that map. Just, I mean, he's a pretty scary Genji. They need to be dealing with that a little bit better. They've got like a Luke on that Brigitte, but it's just not enough to. He pops that blade. It's all over, man. It's so long, and it looked like be a huge comeback and a flip around and slice through the entire enemy team, and that was it. Like they gotta be dealing with that. They have two defensive supports. They had the Lucio, they had the Zenyatta, and yet somehow every time Squishy pulled out his blade, they had no answer for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. They need to find a way to stop Squishy, but Genji, a very tricky character to stop because Deflect is just such a strong ability to nullify anything like that. But with the fight kicking off now, like Luke a bit out of position, does get taken down. I love Mango's opting to go for the Brigitte here, kind of to, I think, deal with that. And once again, Seraphim swapping over back to Winston and doing a lot of work for him as well.
And now we're seeing that Reaper that we've seen so often on the map today, like Luke, making that swap. He wants to put in a lot of damage into those tanks. He might have a bit of a hard time with I Love Mango running on that Brigitte, but if he plays it right, I mean, he could be an absolute issue for the enemy team.
Yeah,
but
you can see Seraphim out of position here, does get taken out, dived a little bit far in, wasn't ready for Lykaluk to be on this Reaper. But here we go, Dragon Blade for Squishy is going to be coming out already. He's looking to make something work out of it. Picks up Obsidian Fury and Easy Z. Make that another one like a loop. Those dashes are deadly. Oh my word. Just when you thought that it was all over for Moonlit Knight, Lazarus getting cheeky.
That is absolutely brilliant. That was so funny. And that's the thing. So coming back to Genji's blade, he is a third of the way to another blade, and Dragon Lady still hasn't had her first beat. And that immediately is the issue. They're not answering it. Squishy is building ult way too quickly for them.
And also talking about building out Lykaluk, very close to the Death Blossom here. Should be using it pretty soon. Officer Doofy being very, very well versed in stopping any sort of assault coming in from the side of the pulse bombs that Lazarus is flying. But look, they're chasing them back to spawn here.
They're being massively aggressive, and at the moment they don't have the tools to be allowed to push so far back, which is why they're not pushing all the way in. If they had a grab, okay, well now they've got the Earth Shatter online, so they can be a little aggressive, because if they get a big Earth Shatter, it's easy peasy. If they didn't have one of those ultimates, it would be a little bit concerning. But now we see Moonlit Knight going on a little bit of a flanking mission around the side. They're going to try and get onto point from that high ground and try and make them go. Oh, it's another dragon.
Oh no, he's taken out instantly! Doname with a lovely shield bash like Luke popping off with that Death Blossom, allowing for them to really win that fight in this situation. There's Seraphim still trying to do a lot on the point here, but Doname, once again, just healing up the team so much on this Brigitte. Earth Shadow does come down, knocking down 3. Vertigo uses up that sound barrier to keep the team alive. They are not giving up anytime soon.
Absolutely crazy, and it honestly looked like we were gonna see Moonlit Knight take that point after they got that shield bash in onto Squishy. But huge nade came through from Mpundu there, got like 3 people purple, completely melted them down, and from there it was so easy to just hold on to that point. Really well played to both teams, but yeah, clearly, I mean, Squishy on that Genji, he's just been such an issue, and the one time that he got shut down, Mpundu managed to follow it up and make sure that his team still won the fight. And then as soon as Squishy got back to point, he just got another 2 kills, quickly cleaned it up, and there it was over. So biggest issue at the moment is that Genji. They've got to be dealing with that. It's just
Yeah, it's extremely tough to deal with a strong Genji, especially if that Genji is being piloted by someone like Squishy.
Hell yeah.
It's really tough, and there's a reason why Squishy is in the 3rd seed team for South Africa. And exactly. I think he really showed off here with his Genji, just flexing his muscles a bit. Flexing his mudders.
I like that. Squishy on Genji, Sainty on Mei, Laz on Brigitte. There are certain like people where you don't counter the hero, you counter the player.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, and we see it time and time again. And I mean, I would say it's a universal thing. I mean, if you think of certain players, I mean, all players everywhere have a hero assigned to them. Well, not all players, there are specific players. As an example, you get the AKM Blade, which, I mean, AKM, fantastic Genji player, right?
right.
But over here,
now that
teams
we're
swapping
in
sides.
Yeah, now that we're in between maps, maybe we could just throw to a quick commercial break just so we can plug our sponsors.
Hell yeah, we can do that. And we're back. So just a word to our sponsors, Attack Shack. Thank you so much once again. Just busy sorting out my overlays here because the teams have swapped sides. Don't want to confuse you guys too much.
Yeah, see, they're still named Team 1 and Team 2. But that's fine. As long as we know what's going on, am I right? Who won the last game?
Assuming we know what's going on. That's a
right.
That's a big ask from me.
It's a big oof.
Big oofing ask.
Right, so second map is gonna be Dorado. Second time that I personally have seen Dorado tonight. Today, I suppose it's a long day.
Yeah, that would be the first time I'm seeing Dorado here. I've been stuck on King's Row, which most of the time not really a complaint, so to speak. King's Row is very much a nice map.
I'm surprised. I haven't seen King's Row at all today. It's been like King of the Hill type maps and then some Dorado. Quite surprising. I was expecting more teams to be plugging that King's Row. It's always been a very popular map for the South African scene.
It really has. I have to agree with you there. So I'm interested to see that there's been lots of Dorado players on your side. It does mean that bit by bit we're diversifying what we find comfortable.
The South African meta is changing.
The meta, it's evolving!
Buff Dorado. Please nerf King's Row. Alright, so cool attack coming through here from oh, these weird names. They still trip me up. Six stack meme stack, thank you. So we've got a Sombra Genji dive, which is one of my absolute favorite compositions at the moment. So like my two favorites are the Sombra Genji dive and then the Sombra Doomfist counter or anti-goats rather. So I'm really excited to see this because anybody that's been watching me in any capacity the last couple of months knows that I love Sombra. On the defense, we've got Roadhog, which I mentioned earlier today is really an off-meta pick at the moment. Nobody is really playing Roadhog, but if you can play him to maximum effect, he is gonna be scary.
No doubt about it, and buffs just around the corner for our fat friend. It's gonna be quite important seeing what he can do in future. That Earth Shatter just... well, man, Fire Strike, not Earth Shatter. Stop it, Jesse. Okay, Seraphim diving in there, having to back off there, but this is where Leica Luke is working with the Roadhog, just being able to pick up Squishy. I think this might be exactly what he decided to go onto Roadhog for, and he's going to be looking for more, getting into the fray. That bubble stopping his hook does spell a bit of doom, although Seraphim is picking up kills, lighting up that kill feed as Mpundu and Vertigo move in forward with him. They need to watch out for the Brigitte though, who gets taken out in absolutely no time. Lazarus having a rough time here.
Looks like Leica Luke is having a rough time in that room there. He's been absolutely cornered by like the entire enemy team.
Yeah, let's just get the Roadhog. He's a one-man apocalypse, don't worry about the points.
Once he's down, yeah, when Roadhog's down, Genji can play, you know?
That's very true, but Seraphim using the Primal Rage here, hoping to pick up some more kills, just displace the opponents, which is working for him because this point is just moving.
It really is. There's been very little friction, very little delay coming through from Moonlit Knight, and I'm surprised to see that they're doing so badly. Good sleep and nade coming through there. Like a Luke gets absolutely melted, and they will take first point already, and they're pushing so far into the enemy's backline. They're not allowing them any space to push forward and defend this cart. Already they get those first picks. Squishy going down though, which is going to be huge. Now they need to back out. If they're not going to back out now, there's going to be problems.
Yeah, and in this situation, you can see that ultimates are going to be a very big role into this. And as I say that, we see Lazarus pop the rally, and there we go. I love Mangoes going in with the self-destruct. There was the EMP behind them, but not finding enough players from Officer Doofy. Hopefully, they can still make some work of it, as we do see Lykaluk using up the whole hog to get some work out of it. Seraphim, very aggressive. Winston here gets taken out from the shotgun of the one-man apocalypse, and he picks up I love Mangoes to close out that fight.
Nice. And Luke actually doing so much work here on that Roadhog. Getting that DMAC was instrumental in maintaining that point. And then he got those 2 follow-up picks. He's now taking a nap. It's been a hard day's work.
A hard day's work for this bank heister. Robber, something. Heister's not a word. But Officer Doofy needs to find something that works with the Sombra. He's been trying to find the right entrances, but it's been a bit of difficulty. There's a self-destruct. Oh, it's a sneaky one in the back! Find him, Pundu! It's not good losing your honor. Also getting the D-Mech on I Love Mangoes. Officer Doofy is going to be able to do quite a lot. Was that a fat finger? I mean, there's 3 of them on the point. Maybe it's enough for them. Bit of a strange sound barrier as out of timing, but Easy hoping to take on Officer Doofy, who's still trying to take out Lykaluk. Backs off from the point now.
There was a beautiful sound barrier from EZZ. We had a nano blade, and EZZ had the answer to it. He had his sound barrier. That's exactly what we talked about on the last map. They had the answer to like a Luke's Genji, and that's what they need. They're now managing to hold on to this point so well. They're getting so much damage in. If Squishy had cleared the point at that particular moment, then they would have absolutely lost this fight. Now they've got exactly what they need to keep pushing and keep holding on, and Lazarus is doing so much on that Brigitte.
Yeah, Lazarus just holding W and left click as the Brigitte does, just on top of Obsidian Fury's Earth Shatter. That just dismantled, absolutely dismantled the side of the red.
Yeah, now Six Stack Meme Stack gonna have to try and get something. Oh, Officer Doofy gets caught out, and if he goes down, he does go down, and that's gonna dismantle their attack once again. But it looks like they might be gonna be pushing as 5. I don't know if that's the best idea, but let's see how this plays out.
Ooh, Obsidian Fury getting a really big charge onto Seraphim, but oh my word, the Bardic Grenade coming in from Mpundu could turn it around. Lazarus trying to find something squishy. He's going to be going out with the Dragon Blade, gets nanoed as well. How fast are these nano blades coming up right now? I Love Mangoes also in the back there, landing some kills there off of the self-destruct. Squishy's looking for some more. Lazarus is very low, but he's getting healed up from that passive. Dragon Lady needs to be taken down before things get too intense. But Squishy being healed up very well from the rest of his team. Sound barrier does come out from the side of EZZ. Obsidian Fury not looking too healthy right now. I Love Mangoes pushing forward. Squishy gets hooked in from Lykaluk, and there's an EMP as well, not allowing anything more. No answers here, no holds barred. They're moving forward. We hear the Earth Shatter coming down as well from Seraphim, who wants to close out this fight as soon as possible. But Lykaluk's giving them a lot of trouble. In the side of the whole hog, he gets taken out anyways. Dragon Lady self-destruct. Seraphim's blocking it off. No kills to be had for Dragon Lady. Lazarus gets charged after his rally. Seraphim holding shift on his sleeve.
So much work.
Yeah, I Love Mango coming with self-destruct. Donomay's going to be going down due to that one. And looks like Moonlit Knight are going to be able to push this forward on Dorado.
And there was so many amazing things that came through there. So that Nano Blade didn't get a lot of value, but it worked as an incredible zoning ultimate space to push that card forward. Then we had Sombra hacking Roadhog out of his ultimate, which created even more space. And then Seraphim just absolutely popped off and killed everything, charging the Brigitte, swinging that hammer. I mean, they're working for a team that was like a hodgepodge, you know, slam together. Their synergy is actually so good, and that's really what's so impressive at them.
gonna have to go through there, Nori, but going into the fight, Obsidian Fury playing very aggressive, getting a lot of armor from the Brigadier. Squishy boosted once again, going to the fight with the Dragon Blade, but instantly hooked by Luke, but that does not deter him from going so deep into the fight. Dragon Lady, the deflect that is going to take out that mech, and Squishy doing so much off the back of Officer Doofy, following up very nicely. Vertigo's there still to keep the push alive.
And again, the support that Squishy has at the moment. The team have realized Squishy is their way in. Squishy is their entrance card. Keep him alive at all costs. When he Dragon Blades, they keep him alive. They did not allow him to go down, and it created all the space.
EMP's going to be coming out. That's a really big one off the back of a self-destruct. Not finding anyone. It's just a little bit too high out of Mangoes. That's a big oof. Vertigo goes in with the sound barrier to keep the team alive going into this Dragon Lady. Not too healthy. Doname pops the Coalescence just to stay alive, but Seraphim chasing her down. Lazarus, of course, on the kickbacks, chasing Seraphim down, and that Coalescence from Doname very well placed. EZZ having to back up. Squishy's on top of him. We do see Seraphim coming into the charge, not quite converting to any kills, as he is the one who falls. Spawn advantage is very big. Squishy getting another blade! Not one! He's going to go for two, but he does get stunned off the back of Lazarus. EZZ picking up the kill, and there's another self-destruct. It's going to be coming from out of Mangoes. It does pick up Lazarus this time, as the push is still alive. There's three of them on the point. Luke has swapped over to the Doomfist. He's grunting to go for Love Mangoes, but not able to get the kill.
My heart cannot take this, Cloud. I can't deal. I mean, Squishy, is he human? Did he just get two blades in one fight? What? And he's already like a third of the way to his next blade, and Pupu's already got another nano boost ready for him, just waiting for him to get that blade. We are now into overtime. Let's go.
Okay, so here we go. Seraphim does get knocked on. Obsidian Fury is going to be charging him, but he is nano booster, so he's going to be staying alive. We do hear Lazarus popping that rally. Seraphim throws down the hammer, knocks down Lazarus and Lycaluke, but it's not enough to deter them from this. Coalescence is coming out from the side of Doname right now. Lycaluke needs to start finding some targets, and he gets out of Mangoes out of that, but Squishy with another Dragon Blade, getting stunned instantly. 3 health, no more. Lycaluke takes him down, and just to close it out, there we go, Meteor Strike.
Ooh, and I feel like Lycaluke finally showed up right at the end. When there was 20 seconds left on the clock, he made that swap to Doomfist, and that is when he really showed up and started doing things. He completely annihilated the entirety of 6-stack meme stack just with his Doomfist play. Squishy pulled out, and that's what I want to see. We've been seeing too many of these like regular normal heroes through, you know, like the old meta type picks. I mean, the new meta is now. This is Doomfist's playground. This is Sombra's playground, and we have just seen that. Squishy was given all the space in the world to play around on that Genji, but the moment that they pulled out that Doomfist, it was all over for him. He did not have any space to move. And as I said previously, he's being pocketed so well by his healers and by his tanks. They're not allowing him to take too much damage as much as they can prevent. So keeping him alive, they've realized that that is their strategy. So if Moonlit Knight can capitalize on that, if they can realize, if they can get Squishy out of the way, if they can isolate him from the rest of the team, I mean, if they can get something like a May, or, well, I see now we've got Squishy up on the Pharah, so they're coming through with the Bastion is actually going to be quite good. They're going to run this pirate ship with the double shield, so they're going to try and keep that Bastion alive as much as possible. Mercy is going to be pocketing him, and he's going to need to take care of that Pharah as quickly as possible, because once Squishy sees him, if Squishy doesn't get him down quickly, he's going to swap onto that Genji. So that's... Oh, that sleep! Oh, you beast! What was that?
I really wish I saw it. I did manage to miss the sleep, but moving in pirate ship is set up now. Lazarus is going to be getting on top of this as soon as possible, but they are just getting rid of the shield really quickly here. Direct shots onto Doname. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down she goes. Over here we do see I Love Mangoes moving right onto there, but Lazarus shreds him down in absolutely no time. EZZ slept again, but woken up, and from Seraphim does end up going down though. That was a decent sleep.
And Pundu is really rocking this Anna, right? And I mean, that's no surprise.
Yeah, I don't think that's a surprise for anyone, and Pundu has been strong on Anna for ages. Officer Doofy, a lot of charge, almost 100%, going for Obsidian Fury, down he goes. They have to really watch out for Officer Doofy right now. It's so difficult to deal with the high charge Zarya.
I mean, a high charge Zarya is basically another DPS. She can provide shielding, but she's also just gonna rip through absolutely everything. You do not want to be within range. It's a dangerous position to be in, and it looks like they're struggling a little bit. They have not swapped off of this Bastion, which is very strange. Hopefully now they can do something with it. If they don't get any value out of this, I'm gonna say they need
That's some value right there. We do see Configuration Tank take down the Pharah. Mercy falls shortly afterwards. Lazarus, definitely enough on the Bastion there to get through the first choke.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely value. Holy cow! To get the Pharah while in Configuration Tank is just it's a whole other level of Bastion play. And Squishy still hasn't swapped off of that Pharah, so he's gonna keep trying with that. Maybe he's gonna blow his ulti. We're gonna have to see what happens, but he seems to be quite confident that he can deal with this Bastion while on Pharah. But they do have 3 ultimates coming. 3 ultimates now. They've got 2 that are about to come online, as opposed to Moonlit Knight that have only got the 1, and they're gonna have Valkyrie coming online very soon. So there's a massive ulti favor for 6-stack meme stack. They just need to make sure that they can utilize it. They gotta get that Bastion down, and it's gonna create all the openings that they need.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do that, but Luke just keeps denying Squishy any space, and he's on Ana over here. I Love Mango is just dashing down. I think that was a mistake with the shield bash. Seraphim goes down, but he lands the shadow, and there's a grab coming in from them as well. That's an anti-nade, really stopping any form of healing right now. Donome tries to take Seraphim up, but having a lot of trouble. Lazarus aiming for the skies, hoping to take off Vertigo, but not enough in this situation right now. We do see the Bongo come out. Supercharge is going to do a lot of work over on the side of Moonlit Knight.
And I mean, that was a fight where literally absolutely everyone pressed Q. And of course, only one team got the value out of it. And they've still got that Configuration Tank, which he's just used because reasons, I guess.
He's chasing down the pharmacy once again. Gets Vertigo though anyways. And look at him setting up to take out I Love Mangoes. Oh, he manages to survive that by the inch of his life. Oh, fully healed
That wasn't
now.
really worth.
Yeah, that was an interesting take on that. Squishy still has not had a chance to use his Rocket Barrage even once, as they are heading towards the 3rd point now.
But it's too dangerous. The moment he pops Barrage, Bastion's... And that's what I've been saying, man. This Barrage is a great counter to this Bastion, because the moment he tries to press Q, it's all over.
Oh, and another Configuration Tank! Lazarus foresaw the future and knew he could burn it because he was going to get it almost instantly, and Squishy gets knocked out of the sky! Once again, he is sleeping now, but Mpundu is on such low health. He's going to really struggle here as we do see Lazarus wake up and end his life.
Absolutely crazy matchup here, but I think that will be for Moonlit Knight, if I'm mistaken.
I think teams swapped sides.
Oh no,
so I think it's 1-1.
They swapped sides. They swapped sides. Yeah, it's 1-1. Jeez, you guys can stop confusing me. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Fantastic play here. I mean, it really looked like 6-stack meme stack were gonna win it. Their attack was so strong. They pushed so hard, and it looked like there was just absolutely no answer for Squishy. But the team swapped sides. They brought out that pirate ship, and it was not counted properly. I mean, you could see they were not dealing with Bastion effectively. They weren't getting him down fast enough, and he was getting ridiculous kills that he should not have been able to get down. They should have been trying to counter a little bit more, possibly a Mei. They could have brought out that Sombra. Sombra is damn good against Bastion, especially with her infinite invisibility. If she can get behind him and get the hack off, it's GG for Bastion. So that's really something that they should have looked at. But we are going to move into our 3rd map. While we wait, shall we have a word from our sponsors?
Well, let's give it a little one. Here you go, guys. See some Squishy action in the clip, actually.
Hey.
we're back to Nari and myself. Just checking up on the teams here. Looks like their map is going to be Lijiang Tower. So
yeah, we've actually been seeing a lot of Lijiang Tower today, or at least in the games that I've been games. It's surprising. Well, kind of surprising. I mean, Control has always been a fairly popular map mode, but Lijiang and not or a map like King's Row, as we mentioned earlier. It's weird that this would be one of the most picked maps.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, I've never seen Lijiang as a map that a lot of people necessarily want to play, so it's interesting seeing it come out for the Talon Cup, but it seems to be working for them, so I can't take it away from them in this situation.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And we are on Gardens now for our first Lijiang map, and I'm excited to see what's going to come out from our teams. And immediately I can see there's going to be a Sombra coming through from Six Stack Meme Stack, which I'm really excited for. It looks like they're going for that Sombra Genji dive again, which worked really well for them on Busan, obviously. That's the one they won. And from Moonlit Knight, still waiting to see all of their picks. So it looks like they're going to go for a Trip Tank with Luke on that Wrecking Ball. We haven't seen a lot of Wrecking Ball except as a stall pick, so I'm really excited to see how he plays it. Wrecking Ball is one of those really high skill cap, high skill, or low skill ceiling, but really high skill cap heroes. So really excited to see how he's going to play it and utilize all of that utility.
Well, he's just going to be a pumpkin swinging in here. He dives right into them, finds a kill on Mpundu very early in the game. I think that's exactly what you wanted to see there, Nari.
That was ridiculous. Let's go, Luke.
Yeah, Luke coming back into the fight now. Vertigo is not in a very good position, as we do see her health consistently dropping. Seraphim backing off over here on the Winston. And right now, Moonlit Knight are looking very good here as Luke pile drives onto Squishy and follows up with a kill to Seraphim.
Luke is like the new Inhuman. Him on this Wrecking Ball is apparently quite scary. But we do have a Sombra on the enemy team. So if she can get some good hacks in onto Luke, then it's going to make a difference. We can already see Officer Doofy scouting in the back line, trying to get some information. He's going for Luke. We can see that's the plan.
Yeah, but Luke managing to escape right through it. Squishy jumping in the air. Luke is in very deep. They're probably going to try target him here. I like the placing of this translocator. Officer Doofy hoping to get it, but the adaptive shield and the healing from his team not going to allow them to really capitalize on that. And he does have minefield ready. There it comes down inside of this room, locking Mpundu and Vertigo kind of out of the fight a little bit here, as they need to find another way to enter onto the point. But Moonlit Knight is just ticking away from them right now.
Luke should never have survived that engage. He was in the middle of their back line. He went around the point to where his team wasn't at all, came through point back into his team and didn't get punished. That should never ever have happened, and that is a major mistake from Six Stack Meme Stack, and that is exactly why they weren't able to take that point. That being said, they have 5 ultimates online. They have a huge advantage here, and here comes the Nanoblade.
Yeah, here's the Nanoblade from Squishy. He's going to be looking for Donovan. He finds her as Obsidian Fury is the first one to fall to his blade. Dragon Lady gets taken out of that mech, and Easy Z left on the point here alongside Luke, having to deal with 6 other players. Oh, but Luke doesn't want to give up anytime soon. Using this grapple hook, she just consistently swing around. Look at that ultimate charge just rise for him over here, but he gets hacked from Obsidian Fury and falls.
Another 900 IQ play. They're not going to waste any ultimates here. Luke's going to have his online any second now. They're already up to 86%. If they can win the next engage...
Officer Fury, really big hack and a follow-up! Isle of Mangoes, so well coordinated over on the side of Six Stack Meme Stack, throwing out that meme destruct and picking up the 3k.
That was so good, but once again, we see no ultimates being used from Moonlit Knight except for the Wrecking Ball bombs that went off there and did manage to get 2 kills. Now they have a ult advantage. If they can win engagement, they can win the game. That is the plan, and they've already got that first pick.
Yeah, Squishy tries to go out, use his blade, but gets stopped by Luke in absolutely no time. Seraphim needs to try and find something. That's a huge shadow onto 3. but the sound barrier from EZZ did still come out. Here's the self-destruct as well, coming out on the point. Seraphim does block it off. Dragon Lady gets back into the mech right now, but they have to watch out. Vertigo, Nano Booster. What's with the amount of Lucius you've seen Nano Booster today? Lazarus is rally, keeping his team alive underneath that biotic grenade that is stopping their healing here. And right now it looks like they're probably going to have to back off a bit, but Obsidian Fury wants to go in, throws the shadow down and takes out Seraphim. Vertigo is left on the point alongside Impundu. They have to keep each other alive as they wait for backup. Here comes I Love Mangoes off the top here, coming in from the alternative entrance. Squishy is in the backline finding some kills whilst we're watching this, and he needs to try find another way to really capitalize as he's aiming for Lycaluke, who has now swapped over to the McCree. But he's just absolutely in the fray. Dragonblade is ready to go, but Lycaluke takes him down with a lovely placed headshot off of Zufi getting onto the point, because they know that it is dire that they keep this point. They do not want it ticking anymore for the blue side.
Oh, this is it. This is Six Stack Meme Stack's absolute last engagement. If they cannot take this point now, there's zero hope for them. They're coming in with four ultimates online.
Lazarus takes Seraphim out, but here we go. I Love Mangoes with that. That is 4 kills, 2 for either side, and the objective is secured for Moonlit Knight.
What just happened? That was insane. And it looked like Six Stack Meme about to get on point. Squishy pulled out that Dragon Blade, but there was nobody on point. They were trying so hard to push through the enemy ranks that they didn't actually get 2 points. And of course the Diva Bomb came through, which was a massive zoning ulti, and just did not allow them to get onto point. Ah, that is heartbreaking for Six Stack Meme Stack. But they do have an opportunity to bring it around now as we move on to Night Market. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring out now. It looks like we are going to see goats from Six Stack Meme Stack. And we're going to see like a goats adjacent composition from Moonlit Knight, as they now have the McCree, bringing the McCree forward instead of a third tank. So let's see what they're going to do.
I think Lycaluke can do quite a lot over here on the McCree, as we'll see them moving on to this point right away. Just absolute havoc from the very beginning. Things are just kicking off. All signs of disdain coming in with Seraphim charging directly into the corner. They're taking out Lazarus. Very important with that one. But at the end of the day, it looks like we are seeing Moonlit Knight come out from top over here. And I just have to say, Six Stack Meme Stack must be holding on for dear life, because this is the loser brackets, and if they fall here, they are out of the Talon Cup.
But I mean, there is an opportunity for them to try and succeed here. It was an unfortunate initial push from them, but it looks like they are coming back strong. They're going to give it their all. Squishy now on the Zarya. And that could be dangerous. I mean, Squishy is a damn good player. To now see him on that Zarya, he's building that charge incredibly quickly. He's going to have his grab.
Self-destruct coming in from Seraphim, charging in after Lycaluke has fallen. And then Pundu is the one to pick up all the kills off of the back of those ultimates being used. Oh my word.
Doing so much on that Moira. I mean, that biotic orb can just... If there are people on low health and you just throw that out there, you get those last couple ticks of health away from them, and immediately they've managed to flip the point back in their favor. It's working so well. There goes the Diva Bomb
coming in. Obsidian Fury tries to block her off, but EZZ dies anyways. Lycaluke on the kickback picks up I Love Mangoes whilst she is out of the mech there. And now Officer Doofy takes out Lycaluke. This is going to allow them to keep it a little bit longer, because Moonlit Knight losing Lycaluke. What do you think of that one, Nori?
I mean, it's a bit unfortunate, but now he's now onto that Doomfist, which I keep coming back to this. Anti-goats, counter goats, kill goats with the Doomfist, and I'm so glad that he's on it now. And if they can utilize it, is he okay? There he is.
Yeah, that's a lot of patience being seen from Lycaluke. He's going directly for Vertigo. He needs to get the kills, but now all of his abilities are on cooldown, whilst the rest of his team is having a little bit of a rough time, although Vertigo is the first one to go down. Squishy cracks back on the Zarya for Obsidian Fury, but Lycaluke is starting to find his targets. He needs to find a way to really impact the fight now. He's going in. That's a lot of damage to everything. He has so many shields, as we do see a self-destruct come out, knock him out of the fight, but nobody really dying from that one there. And Squishy alongside Seraphim are just popping off in the front line.
And in just that one fight, Lycaluke has built up an ult. In one fight. That just goes to show you the caliber of player that Lycaluke is. But once again, we have hit that 80% mark. They've got one maybe 2 fights, depending on how long this next fight goes. They still have to regroup. I think this could actually be their very last engagement. If they want to win this point, win this map, win this game, it's now or never. It's do or die. They need to get onto point.
They need to, and I think Obsidian Fury, if he can land a Shatter and we can see a follow-up, he's swinging in, he wants to get onto the point, but is he going to fall before he's able to land it? It looks like he's having a very rough time there. Luke did pick up Impundu, but that's only one support down in Goats. Of course, Mora very important, but might not be enough as he has fallen now. Seraphim goes down as well. Graviton Surge coming in to the point. That is 3 being taken out, and right now in overtime, it is looking like 6-stack, Beamstack could be the ones to bring it back with self-destruct. Picks up Doname. That's not going to look good for Moonlit Knight, but here we have Squishy still trying to take out Lycanuk, who's just not going down anytime soon. And there's another Meteor Strike! That's the second one in this fight! Either Mango's demeched and Squishy just trying to deal with Obsidian Fury full charge here. He's going to be very tough to kill, especially when it's EZZ left behind. Dragon Lady pops the self-destruct, but that bubble's just a bit too much for him. Opportunity comes back and fly with the rally. EZZ having no health whatsoever, but using up that sound barrier as soon as possible alongside Donmei. We do see Vertigo also popping her sound barrier. Over here, Lazarus swapping over to the Wrecking Ball to try and stall just a little bit longer for the rest of the team to get there, of course. And just having a lot of trouble. Lycanuk wants to pick up these kills, but that's another Graviton Surge. They cannot contest this point properly as Obsidian Fury is the next one to go down, but Lazarus is back with the Adaptive Shield, just bouncing in and out. And
oh my god, that was absolutely insane. I mean, I said it before and I will say it again. This stack meme stack is just absolutely unbelievable. So for Moonlit Knight, what we're seeing is good individual skill, especially from players like Lycanuk. Obsidian Fury has popped off a few times. Lazarus has been doing a lot on his plays, but from 6-stack meme stack, it's not just individual skill, right? So we're seeing crazy stuff from Squishy and crazy stuff from Seraph. I mean, even Donnie getting in there with some crazy plays of her own, but it's that synergy. It's the way that they're working together. They're just gelling so well. And now we're moving on to control point or control tower or control center.
Control something in Lijiang. Control Lijiang. Let's do this.
There you go. I like it. And once again, it's that nice Ghost v Ghost composition. And now it just comes down to whose Ghost is better. And immediately, I feel like 6-stack might have the advantage because of that crazy synergy that they have been displaying today.
And also their focus onto Seraphim. You lose your Reinhardt, you lose your Goat's composition, and they focused on the right target here. Shatter so early in the fight here, coming in from Obsidian Fury, enough to just seal the deal. We do have a full charge Squishy, but that's not going to be able to save them in this situation.
How do you get a Shatter before the point even unlocks? Can we take a moment to appreciate the ridiculousness that is Obsidian Fury? I actually can't deal with that. Insane plays coming through there, beautiful fire strikes and charges, and now they're just holding that door. They've got nothing to follow up a full spawn camp. They don't have a grab.
Oh, a grab on Surge with oh my, that's a double grab coming out over here. Lycanuk actually picking a kill off of it in the kill feed. Self-destruct as well, getting very sneaky with his positioning. Knocks I Love Mangoes out of the mech here. Doname escaping by the skin of, or Impundu escaping by the skin of his teeth over there. Now, moving back onto the point, we do see 6-stack, meme stack starting to come out on top in these fights.
And that's exactly what I was saying. They had absolutely no right trying to hold that spawn camp because you need a grab or an earth shatter. If you don't have that online, you have no right to be spawn camping, and that is exactly why they lost that engagement, because 6-stack meme stack had the graviton. It didn't matter that it came in a bit later for Moonlit Knight. It wasn't good enough. And now 6-stack meme stack doing the same thing, but they've got that earth shatter almost online.
Sound barrier coming up, but the Earth Shatter comes in from Seraphim. He's just popping his shield up right afterwards. There's no follow-up. They have to play defensively, and we do see Impundo pop off with that Coalescence self-destruct coming out from I Love Mangoes. Doesn't find anyone just yet. Lazarus popping rally. We do see Graviton Surge coming out from Lycanuk. Can they follow this one up? Because it doesn't look like they can, as Coalescence is also popped by Doname, as they need to start moving this forward. But right now, the kill feed is just lighting up for the side of 6-stack meme stack as they need to start moving forward. Squishy is dealing far too much damage off the charts here.
Absolutely ridiculous. They're going for an epic spawn camp here, and at the moment, that shatter!
Obsidian Fury doesn't want to let them do that, but then the grab stops them completely, and we have a self-destruct coming in from Dragon Lady. Doesn't manage to pick anyone up, but they had to back off their assault a little bit. Obsidian Fury charges in, but Squishy, once again, this damage, and Seraphim with a huge Earth Shatter out the gates here. They are ticking up possibly over 70-80% here.
This is absolutely ridiculous. They are holding this spawn so hard, but they need to back out now. They have no ultimates except for the rally and the self-destruct. Maybe they'll throw the self-destruct in there as a extra added zoning ultimate, but at the moment it's really dangerous, the position that they're in. The ult advantage is on the other side.
Oh, here's self-destruct in the backline. Doesn't find anyone. It just went a little bit too far out. But we do see both coalescences being popped. We see a Graviton Surge coming in from the side of Moonlit Knight as well. But Officer Doofy just diving right back to the point with that rally. That movement speed working so well. But Easy uses up the sound barrier for this one. Obsidian Fury lands a huge shadow onto 4 players. They need a follow-up, and the follow-up is here. We do see them coming back. This is overtime. And 6-stack Meepstack might have to back off as Officer Doofy is the next key component of Goats to fall.
And this is exactly what I was saying. Once again, they made that mistake. They were in the enemy spawn for far too long. They should have retreated. Once they only had like 1 ultimate left, that's when they should have retreated. And now it seems like Moonlit Knight are going to be doing the same thing. Running into that same wall over and over.
This is a really strong initiation. They're going in with the Earth Shatter, a grab, and a sound barrier. But Dragon Lady holding the door there with the self-destruct, which picks up Seraphim. Not having a Reinhardt in the situation is not very good, but both teams are now playing 5v5 without a Reinhardt here. Squishy's the one to take away that parity and take out Doname, coming in with his... Has he ever gone under 90 charge?
What?
Oh, this is not the time for a pause!
Why are you pausing now? No! I need to see how this ends, damn it!
This is not okay! Not okay! Oh my word. Oh, Laurie, what? Give me some predictions here. We're on 77 to 99. It's going to be overtime if it flips.
So let's just talk about the man advantage for a second here. Because 6-stack Meepstack, they have a massive man advantage in that it is 6-4. Dragon Lady is about to be demech'd, which means that she is basically useless at this point. So in terms of just raw man advantage, yeah, this is going to 6-stack Meepstack. Added on top of that, they have the self-destruct. They're about to have Rally come online. That is 2 huge ultimates that can work in their favor. Whereas Moonlit Knight, they've got Earth Shatter, which could potentially flip this around. If he times this well enough and gives his team the time to come back and capitalize on that Earth Shatter, maybe. But apart from that, they have nothing. They have no way to defend this. I mean, I don't see how they can win this fight. It's looking so strongly like a 6-stack Meepstack win. And, I mean, I've been wrong before. Let's see what happens. We're just waiting for, I think it was Donnie that had the disconnect. So we're just waiting for her to, oh no, do bathroom break. What?
Not sure. I mean, we do have...
Oh, no, okay. So Dragon Lady DC'd, and in the madness...
we decided to have... Let's go for that bio. We know it's going to be a bit of time. It's intense. But here we are. We're coming back. As we do see right away, Squishy tries to take out Like a Luke. A lot of charge here, but EZZ needs to keep it together so that the team can come out and talk. Dragon Lady on the Baby Diva trying to get some work out of it. Obsidian Fury. Oh no, there's a 5-person shatter! And there's not enough of a follow-up though. He's going to get taken out. It's in overtime now. Doname not looking too healthy here. And it's going to be closed down soon and a charge and a self-destruct, but right now it's still being contested. Lazarus opting to go for the Wrecking Ball once again just to tick this off. AZZ's back on the point. Like Luke takes a lot of damage as he dives in here. Dragon Lady's going to be the last one on the points. Trickling in. I don't think they can do it, Nori.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Oh,
and that is it. 6-stack Meepstack, take it home. Oh, what an insane series. That was so awesome.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. I mean, let's see. This is probably going to be the 4K, more of a 4K from Impundu over on God. On Night Market over here. Look at that. Just look at that beauty.
Am I the only one who doesn't have a beam loading in?
No, it's the same on my side. Don't worry.
Nice.
That is so working as intended.
The power of the Force.
Yeah. You just put your hand out to them and they just start crumbling. So,
and I mean, this comes back to exactly what I was saying. It was goats v goats, but in the end, the team with the better synergy won out. That's exactly what it is with goats. That's synergy. Well played to both teams. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, well played indeed. Both teams played it to the outs. But at the end of the day, it is six stack, meme stack moving into the matches tomorrow, as we do sadly have Moonlit Night drop from the tournament. But Talon Cup tomorrow is really where we're going to see competition that is going to be absolutely rife. I'm going to quickly put up a bracket on the screen so that Nori and I can have a quick little discussion about what went down and what you will be seeing tomorrow. And I'm going to put some music on for you folks too, because that's
Hey,
nice.
party time.
just ba, 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 da, ba.
Give it a minute, boys.
Yes, I just need to put up this bracket quickly. Yeah, let's put that there, because of course brackets were only created as we have things change. So let's take this one and just drop our bracket in here. Image bracket. Oh, I misspelled bracket. Good job, me.
How do you misspell bracket? Loud.
B-R-A... Wait, B-R-A-C-X-K-E-T. As you can see, I put a lot of effort into that one. So, let's just
Cool.
expand this a bit. So, if you guys look at the bracket on your screen now. So, just going at which players are going to be making it out and which players have fallen here, Nori. I'm sure you've seen, I have popped you a little bit of a little bit of a note about what we can quickly discuss, as we do see quite a lot of interesting things happen here. So undefeated teams that are going into tomorrow from the winners bracket, which you will see at the top portion over here, is going to be Dysfunctional, Swamp Things, BFG Division, and Jeff and the Kaplans. They're all going to be moving into tomorrow undefeated. That puts them in the winners bracket. That gives them that extra life. They can drop to losers bracket and still bring it back. Nori, how much of an advantage do you think that is?
I mean, that's actually absolutely massive. It's just one of those things that having that extra boost of confidence more than anything else, something that we talk about a lot in the international, in contenders and open division, is the head game. You've got to be in the right headspace, and knowing that you've come through absolutely undefeated through day one, I mean, it's the biggest boon possible, really. It gives you that little extra boost of confidence and makes it so that you go into it feeling like you can win this. You have got this. And what I love about these two teams is, obviously, for those that know the international, or rather the South African scene, Swamp Things has Senti, which we know is the most ridiculous May player from Energy Esports Eden, and Jeff and the Kaplans has Kubla, the other ridiculous tank from Energy Esports Eden. And I'm excited to actually see them bump heads later on in the tournament, because that's really what you want to see. These top, well-known players grinding out against each other instead of, on the same team.
Yeah,
it makes for a little bit of interesting Overwatch.
In regards to that, if you want to see Jeff and the Kaplans take it on with Swamp Things, we're going to have to see Swamp Things beat Dysfunctional, and Jeff and the Kaplans are going to be needing to beat BFG Division. And we were doing a little bit of bets at the start of this, or not really bets, we were kind of putting our fingers on who we think is going to be performing really well, and I put BFG Division as my #1 team. I think they have the potential to take the whole tournament. So Jeff and the Kaplans have quite a big mountain ahead of them if they do want to go against Swamp Things further on along the quarterfinals. It would be in the winner bracket for them to get to that. But
I don't know, hey. I'm putting my money on Swamp Things. If I think anybody's take this, probably going to be Swamp Things.
See, now this is exciting. Now we can go into tomorrow and be like, hey, who do you think's going to come out on top of this? And it's going to be some very exciting games off of that. But looking at what else they have coming up for us here, in the losers bracket, we are still busy with the match of Skinny Gnomes versus the Beastie Bots, where we'll see who falls out of the tournament here. But the current eliminated teams are Rogue Balanced, Toxic Tilters, Nevermore, Redundant Ragrats, and now from this match we did sadly see Moonlit Night fall in match 15. So moving into that, I mean, we're going to be having Benchwarmers versus Alt F4, which Alt F4, I absolutely love the the pun they've gone with there. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't know too much about them. I haven't seen them too much, but Toxic Tilters were also doing very well, and having Benchwarmers take them out does say something about them. They must be quite strong, and they did fall to Redundant Ragrats. No, they beat Redundant Ragrats and they fell to Swamp Things. So if you're saying Swamp Things is your number one, I can understand why they dropped to that. But then coming back and losers against Toxic Tilters, that's a good sign going forward into this, as they will have to take on Alt F4, which also has quite a few strong names in it.
Yep.
And, I mean, I really do want to just see what the results are going to be for Skinny Gnomes versus Beastie Bots, because Beastie Bots is where our top DPS player 20 is currently sitting.
Ooh, that's going to be a game to watch.
And that's going to be very exciting, having a player like that go up against 6-stack Meme Stack in the losers bracket tomorrow to try and fight for that extra chance to get back to the top. It's going to be a very exciting one from there. But I mean, that's the main things really that we can take away from this. I don't know if you have anything else you would like to add, Nori?
No, as you said, we really big games coming up. Of course, the main ones that you want to be watching out for are, in my personal opinion, Swamp Things. Thanks. And then obviously, I think you said it was Toxic Tilters that have got 20. No, Beastie Bots.
Beastie Bots, yeah.
Got 20 on the team, so that's going to be another one to watch out for.
However,
absolutely.
Just to interject there, that is if they're able to take down the Skinny Gnomes, and whereas we're not actually too sure if they're going to be able to do that just yet, although we did see Jeff and the Kaplan's play quite a strong game against them. It was close, but it was quite a strong game against them, and they did manage to fall to that. So I do think Beastie Bots will beat that, but there is still a chance for the Skinny Gnomes to rise.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've got Lag Beast, they've got Visions. I mean, they've got all the tools that they need, and I think that's also going to be a damn good game to watch. If you know, unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to see that one.
Yeah, sadly not. It's already started and it's probably on its way out, so I don't want to catch that one without
Fun
anything.
fact, guys, we need more casters. Hey.
Yeah, from Kausa, honestly, if any of you are watching this and you're not a part of the community, please join the community. Just go on Twitter, you'll see our Discord link there. Hop on in and join the production team. I know you want to. I know you want to make things all pretty and make things run for us. And cast games, it's going to be great. If not, join some teams, have a blast, and by all means, thank you to Attack Shack and Nostalgia for making sure that this is all possible. We wouldn't have been able to do it as efficiently without you. So, moving into tomorrow where there's going to be even more action, let's end it off on a high note from our sponsors. And, of course, Nori, thank you so much for joining. Do you want to say anything on your way out?
Just thanks for having me, guys. I know I haven't been as active in the SA scene recently, but I'm really happy to be getting back into it. Really happy to see all of these players continuing their hard work as we move into the off season, but getting that little bit closer to VSG 2019. So show me what you got, boys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cheerio, everyone.